Good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning, uh, March 23rd, right? And I was just making this video to show people how I think that a lot of these politicians and everything are just the Democrats are causing chaos, for the stocks to go down. That's how they make their money, I think, in my opinion. Like Nancy Pelosi being one of the top investors, you know, able to step foot in the Wall Street type thing. So when you hear this kind of stuff, and I'm looking at Hakeem Jeffries, the the ICE agents are now going into the airports to try to help the TSA agents out to stop the chaos because we're about to go into Easter and stuff like that, right? And of course, Hakeem Jeffries and everything, now this is a bad idea. So now they can't even get help, or it's a bad idea of a threat to America 2.0 backup and all that kind of foolishness. That's just crazy talk. When it comes down to it, it's like Obama and like the rest of them was telling you, when they get to these stocks and insider trading, they can easily bet that the stock is going to go down and make money. Stock market opens up in 4 more minutes, right? You can watch it right here. This is a live 15-minute chart. This is NVIDIA stock. Uh, last week, the S&P 500 went down a little bit. It went down a little bit, but that overall it was down, is my point. So all you got to do is just wait it out, and what these people do is they just bet for the stock to go down. That's $7 a share right now for Delta Airlines. All right, it's a countdown, and I got my computer set. I use Webull stock charts and everything for that. 2 minutes and 15 seconds before the market opens up at 8:30 a.m. You just make the money when they put your money where they put their money. People get up here arguing, all upset and everything, and come up with all kind of argument and excuses, and they just go run with it and get pissed off and all that. These people just playing, y'all. All right, this is NVIDIA stock. Before the market opened, Delta Airlines investors probably put some money in it, so it went up 5%, right? Overall, the stock is going down. And that's what they wanted. They knew that. Same thing with Target. Same thing with Costco. When they protest, that's how they make their money. I mean, Kamala didn't have $2 billion to spend on entertainers from nowhere. And they broke the whole Democratic budget. So yeah, that's how they make their money. And they don't care about the citizens. They don't care about let me make sure I'm pay attention to this. I'm out to put on one of these two stocks, probably Delta. I'll do Delta because I think they want to hurt Delta feeling stock price and have Delta complain and have the people complain at the airport and so on and so forth. And then they want, what really threw them off is that black people didn't complain. That's what really threw them off. Let's see what I can make off Delta stock going down. And this is my real. I got a little change in here somewhere. Let me see. All right, I got $1,000 in there. All right. Now I got a measly little $1,000 to play with this. The stock is right now $67.63 a share. Get rid of that line. All right, now it's set. Now it's live. Right when I step out this blue part. Now these are the emojis here. I tell you how the money moving and stuff like that. So I can either start putting my orders in if I wanted to. If I see the stock going down, I get a little analyst here, right? They got more sellers than buyers. That means it's about to go down, in my opinion. So if I wanted to put in a put, let's see, it's a little put of it's gonna cost me about three here, 350, 355 to put in that put, or 400. Let's see what it is. Put. Let me just do one contract of puts. Buy price is 355. That's about the same. Axe price, buy price, and the limit price is should just went up to 360, so it got a little more expensive. Now it's 385. Ain't that a bitch? The bid axe is the axe of a bid in 300, axe for 85. Or I can do a market order, meaning whatever it is on the spot. This is a stop loss. Just go tell me exactly, what I'm willing to lose. So I'm willing to lose $100 on this at the max. Damn, that option show going up. All right, and this is what I'm setting it to. What kind of profit I'm looking at? I'm gonna do about, let's see, 6. Let me get in before this goes up even more. All right, 385, $3 limit. Willing to lose about $85. All right, so I got in, right? And all I did was just say that the stock price is going to go down. Okay, look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA, well, these stocks are going up right now early on a Monday morning, so it's going to be a little struggle here. But overall, I bet that this stock here is going to drop. Usually when you have a strong line going up, the stock comes back down. And overall, you'll see how it went this way. Kind of one of those what goes up must come down things. And that's what I'm kind of betting on. Well, investing with. All right, let's see what that news says. I got some CNN.
President Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before. Now, in a subsequent post, he said that he instructed ICE agents to be ready by Monday, and now the president is saying that you, sir, are going to be in charge. How is that going to work? Are ICE agents going to move into American airports starting tomorrow, Monday?
Yes. And I'm currently working on the plan now of execution, working with the director of ICE and administrator of TSA, the acting administrator. So we'll put together a plan today and we'll execute it tomorrow.
Okay, so there are a lot of questions here. First of all,
I don't know exactly how they're gonna do that. How they're gonna get them to help, but it's gonna be interesting. Now they're not gonna work the machines, as far as I know. So we'll see.
trained to handle security at airports?
ICE agents receive a high level of training. And, the ICE agents are assigned to many airports across the country already. They do a lot of criminal investigation on smuggling at airports. But, there's got TSA agents covering exits, people that enter through the exits. Certainly a highly trained ICE law enforcement officer can cover an exit, makes people don't go through those exits, enter the airport through the exits, and that would stuff like that relieves that TSA officer to go to screening and to reduce those lines. So wherever we can provide extra screening, I don't see an ICE agent looking at an X-ray machine because they're not trained in that. There are certain parts of security that TSA is doing, and we can move them off those jobs and put them in the specialized jobs, help move those lines.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. So,
Okay, well they ain't gonna be doing much, but I don't know how they gonna hide their identity. But you're gonna see a lot of people still want to know who they are. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Let's finish listen to this.
They're going to be just around the exits and the exteriors. They're not going to be helping people get through the lines and screening people's bags.
Those discussions are going on now. I'm not an expert at TSA, so that's why I'm talking to the TSA administrator and the ICE director, find out where we can fit in. We'll have a plan by the end of today, where we're sending airports we're starting with and where we're sending them. But it's a discussion we're having right now. I had a discussion to do the show.
And I could tell you now, I personally do not believe it has anything to do with some damn Jim Crow poll tax. I know the Democrats came up with that, and I know the Democrats because they actually created that a long time ago. So maybe they know what they're talking about, but I don't feel that way. I'm with the 80% of America that feel no ID, and I don't see what showing the ID to vote has anything to do with this. That's crazy. They want to get rid of, they want to get rid of ICE. Okay, well, we want to get rid of the police departments when we got 20, 30 damn people killed without weapons, or that wasn't a threat to to officers. Some of them flat out cold blooded, but okay, so we should have did that until we got rid of police officers. That, I'm just saying.
I'll be back having the discussions when I finish. So it's a work in progress, but we will be at the airports tomorrow, helping TSA move those lines along.
And I know you said it's a work in progress, but at least at the beginning, are there specific airports that you're thinking about starting with, and how many ICE agents are you considering deploying to do this?
Right, that don't really matter.
A plane.
don't need.
Going to work through the redistricting in your home state of California. What do you think about the idea of sending ICE to airports?
This issue related to ICE. I think there are common sense reforms.
Just about what he said.
Are they going to be wearing masks? What are the functions that they're going to be performing? Are they going to make it more complicated? Are people going to be more scared? Are they going to threaten people?
Are people
Are people
going to be more scared? See, that's that bullshit with the Democrats. That's BS. But if you're scared, don't go. Don't fly then.
start to see people not even willing to travel because they're intimidated by them? Here's the reality. We could settle this tomorrow. TSA, FEMA, which by the way got gutted a year ago, not in this funding of Homeland Security by DOGE, and from the Coast Guard, and deal with the ICE issue, which has to be dealt with front and center.
Yeah, look, I think I associate myself with the gentleman from California's comments, right? I think he's spot on. Look, Congressman, Tom Homan was up on the Hill negotiating, passed the bill now.
Every advice. But the reality is, the reason what the congressman was saying, I think Americans are just like, can we just let's take this piecemeal. TSA, pass it. If you obstruct TSA, I will have a problem with you. I don't think anybody on our side would actually obstruct it. Let's fund FEMA. We all have that. I would not fund
supported bills. We've got a discharge petition to fund the other three. And I want to give you one simple issue. The Constitution. Do you believe in the Constitution?
Of course.
All right, there you go. Ever said that is. That lady's an old liberal Democrat, I bet. I don't even know. I'm just listening to the sound. You can cut this woman off. Everybody else got a chance to speak. Let's hear what she said.
Oh no, hold on. The warrant issue is completely that's the red herring.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
like the congressman was saying, I think Americans are just like, can we just let's take this piecemeal. TSA, pass it. If you obstruct TSA, I will have a problem with you. I don't think anybody on our side would actually obstruct it. Let's fund FEMA.
Right, see? Let's fund TSA. That's a problem. They gonna hold back the money from TSA because of voting ID. And that's my opinion.
I would not fund
You see, why that lady getting cut off? Then do you believe in the damn Constitution? Ain't that something?
We've got a discharge petition to fund the other three. And I want to give you one simple issue. The Constitution. Do you believe in the Constitution?
Of course I do.
And warrants? Do you not?
Oh no, hold on. The warrant issue is completely that's the red herring.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, ma'am. The Constitution has. These immigration officials, when they're going in these specific things, there are administrative procedures that allow them to go in. They're not going in without authorization. There's there's law that allows them to do this without a warrant in those instances.
And
listen, ICE agents here. Tom Homan, Barack Obama gave Tom Homan an award. Tom Homan.
Yeah, Tom Homan is one of the best border patrol agent ever. He worked for 3 presidents, probably more.
Professionally, he's trying to help Americans get to where they're doing, eliminate the lines, alleviate American suffering. ICE isn't going to be there. The ICE
But he said he wasn't changing any policy.
So on this warrant issue, I'll say that I actually voted for a judicial warrant requirement in order to enter homes. I've also voted to say we should have agreements so that ICE is not operating near child care centers or near schools. I think, and I've also supported, by the way, though, making sure that local jurisdictions honor detainer requests when they come for ICE for people who have committed crimes in addition to be in the country illegally. So I think that is the sort of compromise we need around this issue. I think that the things I just listed are supported by the vast majority of Americans. And so we need Congress to come together to reflect what the American people are asking.
And if anybody thinks that ICE is going to be with masks and they're going to be they look like.
How do we know?
That job effectively. How long does it take? How involved is it?
So to become a TSO, we have to go to FLETC, Federal Law Enforcement Training Camp. That's about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on your program. And then afterwards, you have about 2 additional months of training on the floor. We learn X-ray operations. We learn how to be terrible in all retrospects because
Ask as we're talking about people who are not being paid, but I read that you.
You know what? See if something happens. The first person, it's gonna be another damn finger pointing issue. Democrats go say it's because of the Republicans. Republicans go say it's because of Democrats. Democrats going to say it's Jim Crow 2.0. And somebody ain't gonna be able to, because they ain't got visas and shit like travel visas and stuff like that to vote. Not to mention that they got Californians up there with registering, paying $5. That's crazy. You can't win with this shit. But Democrats go do what they want. At this point, they're doing what they want on this situation here. I know Republicans get down too, but in this situation, Democrats doing what they want. And when somebody get hurt, like we knew some one of these people will get hurt, like go out there. It's the right to peaceful assembly. That not go out there and cause chaos. That go get somebody knocked off. Like the two people out there in Minnesota. They knew that.
This because you wanted to serve your country.
We just heard from the White House about President Trump's plan to.
Let's hear Jeffries.
Deploying them in close exposure. We've already seen, and life is more. Well, good morning, great to be with you. There are three things that have been true since Donald Trump and Republicans came back into power last January. Life is more expensive, life is more chaotic, and life is more extreme.
See that chaotic? Yeah. That's what they wanted to do. So they could put that on the thing. Life is more chaotic. Well, buffer that up. You still got Maxine Waters, old ass out there, 86, 87 years old, talk about take to the street and fight. That's crazy. Fighting ain't gonna get you nowhere, but it go get them some political argument. So it's chaos.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
Now the ICE agents gonna go to the airports and delete people. They're not gonna say federal ICE agents have to go through federal training to become ICE agents, but all of a sudden the ICE agents who the feds don't have the training. That's crazy.
We've already seen how ICE conducts itself. These are instances, kill them. We've already seen how ICE conducts itself.
Right. That's what they want to do.
When it comes to doing the current deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them. We've already seen.
Now, all the stuff we've seen that black people have gone through and a lot of white people, then a lot of white boys just don't say shit. But a lot in PDs have knocked off a whole lot of innocent people. I mean, flat out innocent. But we're talking about these two here. We got that kind of movement by Democrats to fight them now. Why not get rid of the police department then? They want to do that. That's because they want to fight for these immigrants. Now it's a problem.
How ICE conducts itself. These are untrained individuals when it comes to doing the current job that they have for the most part, let alone deploying them in close exposure in highly sensitive situations at airports across the country.
But it seems like it's happening.
See, that's what they wanted. They wanted people to do. They wanted people to hate ICE, run up on them. Only white people willing to do that. That's why you only have white folks doing that. Somalians didn't even go out there and run up on them people like that. Black people know better. We know if that's not our fight. And for those that don't know why black folks don't go out there, you don't know why. You just missed the whole point of why we went out there protesting for anything since the 60s.
He's working on a plan right now. Is there any chance that there could be some kind of deal done soon? I mean, obviously what the president is trying to do is squeeze lawmakers to try to finally come up with a plan to fund DHS.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Republicans have decided that they would rather force TSA agents to work without pay, inconvenience millions.
Right, see how they put that on that? Like they just chose to do that.
of Americans all across the country and now potentially expose them to untrained ICE agents and create chaos at airports throughout the land rather than get ICE agents under control. Our basic premise and value proposition from the very beginning has been simple. ICE should conduct itself like every other law enforcement agency in the country. But if Republicans are unwilling to get to an...
That's one of the reasons why I really don't like Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries was recruited his freshman year in college. Damn near a Muslim dude, but or whatever it is, but he is pro-Israel. It doesn't matter what's said or done, he's going to do what old Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and those old rich Democrats, billionaire Democrats tell him. It don't matter what it is. And then you're going to just keep saying the American people. That's it. To me, trash.
Agreement in that regard, the one thing we can do immediately are to make sure that TSA agents are paid. And we know, Dana, there's bipartisan support for that. Senator Ted Cruz and Senator John Kennedy have recently indicated that they would support moving in that direction. Let's bring those bills to the floor in the House and the Senate tomorrow so we can get TSA agents paid.
So
What bill do we need for TSA agents to get paid? What bill is holding up TSA agents?
let me ask you about that, because you are the whole reason, as you just laid out, that DHS is not funded right now is because you're trying to push the administration to enact some policy changes on how Border Patrol and ICE act when they're out looking for illegal immigrants. And now what you're saying is that you're okay with funding TSA, which has been, I think, the biggest point of leverage.
Okay, what's the problem? Y'all, they, like she about to say, they use that as leverage to hold up TSA, not to control ICE. You can hold up them people money, and I'm live right here in New Orleans, Louisiana. And when I see them, I give them a couple of dollars. I get them a cup of coffee. You can hold up these people money that don't make much because you don't want you got a problem with IDs.
That you possibly had in order to get what you want on ICE, because ICE already has its money.
Right. There you go.
Which
Speak.
has been, I think, the biggest point of leverage that you possibly had in order to get what you want on ICE, because ICE already has its money. So what was the point of this shutdown if you're okay with funding TSA?
Well, we never approach these things that are in front of us with respect to government funding in the context of leverage. Our approach is, what is the appropriate use of taxpayer dollars? And we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used.
Now, you just heard that. Their approach is what? Let me make sure we heard that.
And we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used with respect to government funding in the context of leverage. Our approach is, what is the appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
All right, their thing approach is, what is the appropriate use of taxpayer dollars? We can go all through the Biden administration. Now, damn near over $1 trillion, I say damn near $2 trillion to Africa, African countries. For what? That doesn't help the American people. Hell, Africans don't even like us.
And we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the...
Was life more affordable under Biden? Or was the cost going up?
American people, not brutalize or kill them or violently target law-abiding immigrant families, which is what we know.
Most of the shootings, deletions that happen in mainstream media and everything, all that was under, most of that was under Obama. People forget that. Most of that was under Obama.
ICE agents have been doing. And so at this point in time, more than 30 days in to the Trump
Jamil Rice,
Department of Homeland Security shutdown, I think the
Philando Castile,
most appropriate course of action is to fund TSA, fund FEMA,
Breonna Taylor,
fund the Coast Guard, fund our cybersecurity professionals,
good brother Sterling,
so that, Republicans stop holding
and a whole lot more. But now they bring it back.
Department of Homeland Security shutdown. I think the most appropriate course of action is to fund TSA, fund FEMA, fund the coast approaches. What is the appropriate use of taxpayer dollars? And we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the American people of leverage.
But see, they said make life more affordable for the American people. Well, it wasn't. And a lot of money was spent and given away. Housing went up. Remember the price of eggs and grocery and milk, gas? Now they say the more people you have in certain areas, the more prices go up and stuff like that. So they're saying that immigration is part of the inflation problem. The prices going up problem. I don't know the numbers on that. I don't know how to do that shit. But if that's so, what 10 million extra people, what 10, 20 million people gonna do? We just had 10, 20 million open jobs. And within 3 or 4 years.
Our approach is, what is the appropriate use of taxpayer dollars? And we believe that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the American people, not brutalize or kill them or violently target law-abiding immigrant families, which is what we know.
So Trump brutalized and deleted them. That's what he's saying. Under Trump administration, that's true. It happened under his watch. So how many people were brutalized and beaten and deleted under Obama watch? Let me remind y'all what Obama did. You know what Obama said? He looked like me. Talking about Trayvon. That's all we got out of all of that. Nothing else. No bills, no nothing. And then we watched $2 billion go on entertainment and Cardi B and Beyonce and shit like that. Yeah, let's talk about but you worried about lowering the price to American people. How about no tax on tips and no tax on overtime?
And so at this point in time, more than 30 days in to the Trump Republican Department of Homeland Security shutdown, I think the most appropriate course of action is to fund TSA, fund FEMA, fund the Coast Guard, fund our cybersecurity professionals, so that Republicans stop holding the American people hostage and these hardworking civil servants because of the.
See, he just a paid politician.
Republican unwillingness, at least to date, to get ICE under control. Listen, we believe that immigration enforcement in this country should be fair, just, and humane. And Donald Trump promised that he was going to go after the worst of the worst, violent felons who are here illegally. That's not what has been happening.
That's not what he did. He said he was going to go after those, try to get them released out of prisons and out of the jail system first. Chicago didn't want to do that. I'm sure Chicago and California didn't want to do that. But he said that's what he going to do first. If he couldn't do that, he was going to continue deporting. He said that was the only thing he was going to do. And he said if somebody was around them that was got a deportation order. If you didn't have your papers, you was going too.
Happening.
They said that.
It's targeting American citizens and law-abiding immigrant families, and of course that needs to
If you cross the border illegally, you're illegal.
end. That is not an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars.
I'm just trying to understand.
But we don't have a problem with that, sir. You just doing what you're told to do.
And how if you fund TSA and the other agencies that you just talked about, how you think that you will be able to put pressure then on the administration to make the changes to ICE that you're asking for?
The American people are going to continue to put pressure on the administration because they know ICE is out of control. They need to be reined in. And our view is that they should not get another dime of taxpayer dollars until we have bold and dramatic and meaningful changes to ICE's behavior so that they are compelled to behave like every other law enforcement agency in the country. That includes making sure that there are judicial...
Let the airplane crash.
This is breaking news. We interrupt with breaking news here this morning. I'm Alan Devlin. The NYPD has confirmed that an Air Canada plane has collided with a Port Authority vehicle on the tarmac at LaGuardia Airport. Right now is a live look at the airport there, where it is shut down completely due to this emergency. It is unclear what actually caused this collision, and there were no word on injuries, but you can see video from the tarmac showing that Air Canada plane here tilted backwards as FDNY, NYPD, and EMS race there to the scene. We have been told, the FDNY says this happened around 11:38 p.m. yesterday. Flight radar says the plane's last speed was going 24 miles per hour at that time. Port Authority is handling this investigation, and Port Authority tells us that the vehicle involved in this incident was a Port Authority vehicle. That was the vehicle that the plane apparently struck there. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve joins me now on the phone. Chris, you are looking at some of the same video that I am here. Can you walk us through anything you may know or may be able to piece together from the little information we have right now involving this collision?
Well, certainly, given what's going on, details as we understand them are fluid and changing. But this flight was coming in from Montreal, had landed and was slowing down on the runway when this apparent collision happened. You're looking at images of the plane sort of inverted with the nose, or the area where there should be the nose, up in the air. It is likely that that occurred as passengers were evacuating out the back. That very well could have shifted the center of gravity on the airplane, resulting in it standing up the way it is.
Yeah, I bet it did. I bet you everybody did run to the back of the damn plane. The nose ripped off.
Those images. So that likely occurred after the collision here. The pictures are very concerning because the front of the airplane looks to have taken significant damage. That's, of course, where the pilots would have been. A flight attendant tends to be towards the front of that aircraft, as well, the CRJ 900. 24-mile-an-hour collision. You don't know how fast the other vehicle was going, but clearly a significant crash here. You have to be concerned about the injuries to the people in that vehicle, as well as folks on board that airplane.
And CBS News New York right now is working to learn of any possible injuries involved in this incident. Chris, while I have you here, so we do understand the vehicle on the ground was involved in this incident. Can you walk us through some of the logistics of how these vehicles move around the tarmac, move around the airport, in order to avoid something like this from happening? It's required that these vehicles, trucks, fire trucks, cars, whatever it may be, move throughout the airport. But obviously, there are safety protocols in place to prevent them from coming into the path of an incoming plane. Walk us through that.
Yeah, generally speaking, there is communication between the ground vehicles and air traffic control, particularly around active runways. And in this case, with little bits of air traffic.
We just heard from a senior Port Authority official after the breaking news overnight when a plane crashed into another vehicle at LaGuardia Airport with 2 people now confirmed dead. You are watching Fox and Friends First on this Monday morning. I'm Carly Shoggetts.
And I am Todd Pyro. Here's what we know just moments ago from that press conference. 41 people on that plane were transported to the hospital. 32 were released, but it does appear there are 9 individuals with serious injuries at this time still in the hospital. 2 pilots, as you see on your screen right there, confirmed dead. LaGuardia will be closed until at least 2 p.m., could be longer, depending upon how long the investigation takes. With that, let's go live now to CB Cotton live at LaGuardia with the very latest. CB.
Todd, Carly, good morning. An absolute tragedy here on the ground at LaGuardia Airport as we get that official confirmation that 2 pilots have been killed in this collision between a passenger plane and a fire truck. Let's take a look at this crash site because this was a gut-wrenching scene. You can see her on the screen. That Air Canada Express plane on the...
And the plane went into a fire truck. Now, I honestly would say that the plane can't be in the wrong. Can't be.
Tarmac with its nose completely torn off, and nearby there appears to be the overturned, damaged Port Authority fire truck. To give some context, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey operates this airport. It just held a news conference and said the Air Canada flight was landing at around 11:40 p.m. Eastern last night, coming in from Montreal when it collided with a Port Authority fire truck that was responding to a United aircraft that had previously reported an issue with an odor. The Port Authority released an earlier statement saying, quote, at approximately 11:40 p.m. on Sunday, a Jazz Aviation flight operating on behalf of Air Canada was involved in an accident on runway 4 at LaGuardia Airport, in which the aircraft struck a Port Authority aircraft rescue and firefighting vehicle that was responding to a separate incident. And again, moments ago, we got more details.
So the fire truck was responding to another situation and just ignored him.
From Montreal to New York.
That's crazy. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, we went up a little bit. Go see how this pan out. And I'll come back and let you guys know exactly how it went.